A people without the knowledge of their past history and culture is like a tree without roots. The words of Marcus Garvey. It is so important for us to document our history, aspects of our culture. The Americans do it, the Japanese do it, the Chinese do it. We should do it so that our children will not have to scramble, to scratch their heads, to know what we experienced growing up in Grenada. And so tonight, let me take you on a little walk down memory lane. Now, you see that picture you're looking at? Empire Cinema is in that picture. That blue and white building. A picture once posted by Mr. Patrick Nichols. So yes, a little walk down memory lane. Many of us remember Empire Cinema. That building is no longer there. But looking at the picture, I'm sure, wherever you are, some of you in Canada, England, America, even Trinidad, will have fond memories of the Empire Cinema. A trip down memory lane. Snow cone, ice cream, and other delights. I will take you back, way back to the time Mr. Franco made the best ice cream in Grenada, when Nix made a tasty ice cream too. Now the cone shell was made close to the spot in St. George's where one exited Sendell Tunnel. Boy, many people used to dart through that tunnel, especially when them big Janet trucks rumbled behind. Everybody was afraid of the big Janet trucks. Those trucks came after Janet to clear the roads and areas devastated by that monstrous hurricane. So when those big Janet trucks thundered their way through the tunnel, the narrow underpass, why? Sometimes we had to squinch up. We had some nice ones, you know. We had to squinch up against the wall to allow the big trucks sufficient room to pass. Well, many of us were students back then, and when we could not afford the ice cream, we bought the crispy cone shell, and we called that George. Those were the days of the popular snow cone. Who called that thing snow cone in tropical Grenada? There were lots of appetizing goodies. My mother, Georgiana de Riggs, rest in peace, she made many appetizing goodies. It was difficult back then to choose from a nut sweetie. Who remembers nut sweetie? Sold by a woman called Miss Eve. She used to sell near Mother Rose School, St. Joseph Convent area near the cathedral, the Catholic cathedral. But we had sugar cake, and yes, many of those still exist. Guava cheese, sugar cake, cocoa fudge, tamarind balls, and many locally made mouth pleasers. Emphasis on locally made. We were never a lazy people. Now to Andrew and them. A fella called Andrew. In a storytelling mood tonight, boy. A fella called Andrew, well, he used to take a whole leaven bread and push it in his mouth. Well, back then we had leaven bread, Vienna bread, penny bread, all kind of bread. Again, many ladies back then made bread So Andrew used to take that leavened bread, very nice bread, and push it in his mouth. And after 2 bites, boy, the bread gone. The bread disappeared. And he then washed it down with a Solo, a Stroudies, a Red Spot, or Fanta sweet drink. And next he took up the lard pan. Who remembers the lard pan? We used to boil our ham, our Christmas ham, in the lard pan. So Andrew should take up the lard pan filled with picking. You know what's picking? I'll tell you about picking later. And place it on his head. And then he made it down the cobbled steps. Something you'll find in Grenada, in the alleys and on Cooper Hill. Cobbled steps of Cooper Hill. Those stones you see on those hills were actually stones that came from the river stones. So Andrew balanced the picking pan with considerable ease. One of the things about our people, we could put things on our head and balance it. A woman one time stopped traffic in America when she had a bunch of stuff on a tree and she balanced it on her head. People never saw that. Who never saw that? They were amazed. Now Andrew balanced it the same way, in the same manner as Miss Charles. Miss Charles, God bless her soul, she used to carry baskets of food on a tray placed on her head to feed the policemen stationed near Fort George. The policemen had to be fed. So Miss Charles used to carry the food to feed them. She was a strong woman. Yes, folks, we can't forget our people. Let them live in cyberspace. Coming back to the picking. The picking was made up of all kinds of leftover foods. Anything that you don't want to eat, you give up. If a man tell you you're eating like a pig, boy, that's a real insult to them, because pigs eating anything, any damn thing. You see, pigs were never particular about what they ate. So green fig and dashing skin and even rotten mangoes were thrown in the picking pan. The pigs also ate blogo leaves and coconut husk. A fella called Cocoa Wood, but he was not unlike the pig. He cared about his that. But that ungrateful man used to make his wife catch his royal tail. He hated breadfruit. The man didn't like breadfruit at all. And every time he drank his grog, his rum, and he blew all the pesh in the rum shop, the money, his wife got vexed and retaliated by putting breadfruit soup in his bowl for him to eat. Well, that was the signal for the man to launch in a foul-mouthed tirade. Verbal plan-ass boy. The man cursed his wife. He cursed her mother, her father, and everybody he could remember. He even cursed the deceased and the neighborhood dogs when he was angry. And when he was drunk and walked up the hill, boy, people used to shout out, look out, Castro coming, boy. The name was called Castro, the name. A reference to Fidel Castro, the Cuban leader. Look out, boy, Castro coming. Now, Mr. Mickey, well, he was another character. Mr. Mickey vowed never to eat lambi. He devoured callaloo soup. The man devoured oil down, cook up rice. And he even put a licking on the back and neck chicken. His wife went to the cold storage on the wharf and bought the back and neck chicken. And he made the stew chicken for him. But he used to cut all kind of style on the lambi, because some people call it Kong, certain parts of the West Indies. Well, his wife do for him, boy. I like to use our terms, His wife do for him. She prepared a wonderful dish and she was able to disguise it very well. A dish of stewed lambi with rice and peas. And she set a tempting plate before him. Mr. Mickey immediately dived into it, boy. He started to eat. In a few seconds, the plate was clean as a bowlie. You know, the man knew what he was eating. He loved it, but he was ashamed after cutting so much style on the lambi in the years past. But the lingering taste, boy, tortured him. He could take no more. He had to ask for more. But listen to the way in which he asks for more. Remember, he was ashamed to ask for more. Woman, you have more of that blasted thing there? Blasted thing? She replied. What happened, Mickey? You're playing, you can't remember the name. Mickey's lambi you eat. It's lambi. So Mickey's days of cutting style on lambi were over. Woman, you have more of that blasted thing there. Eh? Well, back then, boy, Grenada had all kinds of interesting characters. And given, the people drink the rum and thing, but they didn't want to shoot nobody. Give them that. George Beard, who pushed his bike from Belmont to Chublo during the time of Expo 69, well, he was a curious individual. But once the sun was so hot, the man felt sorry for his bicycle. So he decided not to ride that bicycle in such a blistering heat. That was the same George Beard who cut a branch from a tree while standing on the same branch, and when he shouted, "Miss Ross, look out! The branch coming down!" It was George Beard that was going down. And when somebody told George Beard his house was burning as he sat in Empire Cinema looking at a movie, George Beard asked, how the hell my house could burn when I have the key in my pocket. I'll continue with Walter Dunn and others at another time. Walter Dunn, a man with more than a touch of intelligence, and he proved how efficient a thinker he was. When he was charged with walking around the city of St. George's naked, he won his case because he convinced the judge that since he was wearing a tie, he was not naked. Why, Grenadians are some of the smartest people in the world. Anthony Wendell de Riggs, to be continued.